Checkpoint exercises. With number 1, we're given a table that shows the radius of a circle and the area in feet squared. We're asked to write an equation in 2 variables to represent the relation in the table. This is actually a little bit of an introduction to the next section. What we should know from previous experience in order to write this equation, that area equals pi r squared. And we can verify that from our table. We're given that when r is 1, the area equals pi. So let's check that. Area equals pi times 1 squared, which equals pi. So that is verified. When the radius equals 2 feet, area equals pi times 2 squared, which equals 4 pi. And when the radius equals 3 feet, area equals pi times 3 squared, which equals 9 pi square feet. So it is verified that this is our equation. In the next section, just as an introduction, if you look at the differences in r, you get 2 minus 1 is 1, 3 minus 2 is 1, so there's a difference of 1. And if you look at 4 pi minus pi, you get 3 pi, and 9 pi minus 4 pi equals 5 pi. And if we went ahead and used 4, 4 squared is 16, so that's going to be 16 pi for a radius, 16 pi square feet if we have a radius of 4 feet. So we'll go with 16 pi minus 9 pi equals 7 pi. Now if we look at the differences of the differences for our outputs, we get 2 pi and 2 pi. 7 minus 5, 7 pi minus 5 pi is 2 pi, and 5 pi minus 3 pi is 2 pi. And what we'll learn in the next section is that's how we recognize that something is a quadratic. If we have a table, if you look at the differences, and the differences are the same for the same difference in input, if the outputs have the same difference, then it's linear. If the differences of the differences, in other words, we find the difference and then we find the differences of the differences, if those are the same, then we have a quadratic, and that just means that the variable is squared. In number 2, we're given that the general cable company charges $40 per month for basic cable TV and an additional $5.95 per month for each premium channel, and we're asked to write an equation to find the total monthly cost C for any number of premium channels P. It says to make a table to show the monthly cost for 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 premium channels, then graph the ordered pairs, and be sure to label the axes and provide a scale on the graph. So first off, we know we have premium channels 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're asked to write an equation. So we know we are looking at a linear equation. So we'll go ahead and write this out, in the form y equals mx plus b, but our y is going to be c, and our x is going to be p. So we'll write this out as c equals mp plus b. Now we have to ask ourselves for b, what is it going to cost if there are no premium channels? Well, we're given that they charge $40 per month for basic cable, so we know B equals $40. And then our rate of change, M, since we're basing it on the number of premium channels, our slope, or our rate of change, is going to be $5.95 for each premium channel. So now we just plug that in to give us cost equals 5.95 times the number of premium channels plus the $40 they charge regardless of whether you have any premium channels or not. So we already know that for premium channels equals 0, our cost is going to be 40. With 1, we have 5.95 times 1 plus 40, which is going to be 45.95. For 2, let's go ahead and plug that in. So P equals 2. We have cost equals 5.95 times 2 plus 40. And so we want to figure out what is that 5.95 times 2. If we look at 5 times 2 is 10. And then the 95 times 2, that's going to be $1.90. So that's $11.90. So this is going to be $11.90 plus 40, which equals $51.90. For 3, we'll do the same thing. P equals 3. We have C equals 5.95 times 3 plus 40. And then the 595 times 3, it's easier at this point, rather than using long division or trying to do it in our heads. Just use your calculators to determine 595 times 3, which is going to equal $17.85. So this equals $17.85 plus 40, which is going to equal $57.85. And then last but not least, we have P equals 4. So C equals 5.95 times 4 plus the 40 that they charge, regardless of how many premium channels you have at all. If you have no premium channels, they're still going to charge you $40. And this equals $23.80 plus the 40. So that's going to be $63.80. Now we're asked to graph this in a coordinate plane, and technically we don't need any of the negative, just because, well, you can't have negative numbers of channels. So this is going to be T, which is our number of channels. This is going to be C, which is our cost in dollars. And our costs range from 40 to 63.80. So let's go ahead and we'll make each one of these tick marks be 10. And then we'll have our premium channels out here with 1. So at 0 we have 40, so 10, 20, 30, 40. We know there's a point. That's what they charge if you have no premium channels. And then 45.95. So that's going to be right about here, in between 40 and 50. Remember, this over here is 50. Then 51.90, so that's going to be right about here. Then for 3 channels, 3 premium channels, it's 57.85, so that's going to be right about here. And then last but not least, 63.80 for 4 channels, so that's going to be right about here. And you should notice that even though it doesn't ask for it, granted that your graph is accurate, which is a lot easier if you have graphing paper. This is pretty close though. If nothing else, just to give us an idea that we have a straight line here going through our points. Last but not least, with number 3, we're asked to graph the relationship y equals 3x plus 4. We should recognize that this is a linear equation. It's just going to be a line. Let's start with -2. So when x equals -2, we have y equals 3 times -2 plus 4, which equals -6 plus 4, which equals -2. So that gives us the point -2, -2. So we'll come over here, -2, -2. We'll go ahead and go up to -1. We shouldn't need to write that out. You can if you'd like, but 3 times -1 is -3, plus 4 is 1. So at -1, we're at 1. At 0, we are at 4. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. So that's right up here. And at 1, we have 3 times 1 is 3, plus 4 is 7. So that's going to be right up here. And with this, since it's not just asking us to plot the points, it's asking us to graph the relationship, we know that we are going to graph a line here. So we just draw a line through the points, and that is going to be the graph of y equals 3x plus 4.